It's not obvious on the outside, but there's a lot of exciting stuff happening here at Emirates Team New Zealand. Boys are working hard, got some great designers, good science, moving towards the 2017 America's Cup. But we know there's some questions that have to be answered. We know that you want to know, and so we're going to try and answer them a little bit now.
You just had a review. What was the results of that review?
Well, the review was pretty far-reaching through all the different areas of the campaign, and we tried to sort of take the campaign apart and get feedback from all the team members. We looked at the sailing part of the operation, design, the general running of the campaign, what we did well, what could have been better. It was pretty thorough, and we got some really good stuff out of it, and we'll be using the main points that come out of that review as a sort of checks and balances or building blocks for the future, really, for the next campaign.
There's parts of it we're happy to share with everybody, but there's other parts that, well, it is a roadmap of how to run a campaign.
Well, I know the relay day has been an issue that's received a lot of publicity in the last 12 months. Was that a mistake to take it?
Well, myths and legends have grown up over the issue of the lay day. We were asked 3 or 4 days beforehand by the race director whether we were interested to take that day as a lay day. He was a race behind, I think, by that stage. And Kevin circulated emails through the executive guys, what do we think? We were in process. If there was a mistake, it was that we were staying within our process. We'd had a lot of racing, we wanted to do our maintenance, and here's the key point. Oracle had to agree as well to take a lay day, and they didn't want to race because they were trying to work out at that point still how to sail their boat and get their foiling working properly. So if we had a mistake, it was that we may be too rigid in our process, and that's a bigger issue. But we weren't going sailing anyway because Oracle said they didn't want to sail.
Wind speed was a huge factor, wasn't it? How much did the wind speed change affect the result?
Well, you know, it had a lot to, we built our campaign around the rule, which was, 5 knots to 33 knots. So all the work that we'd done for the 2 years building up, the 2.5 years, were based around that. So any change to the wind speed was detrimental, no question, because the boat that we had would not have looked like that if we were designing a boat to only sail in 23 knots. So it wasn't a good news story for us, but there was nothing we could do about it. There was a safety review. The Coast Guard were involved. A guy had lost his life. You're not going to sit there and say it was a bad idea. It was out of our hands at that point.
It also goes further than that too, because we were, obviously we got out of the blocks quickly, we started winning races and we were well up early. But then races started getting cancelled because in the afternoon for the second race, the wind speed would always go above 23 knots. Nothing like 33 knots, it would get up to maybe 24, 25. So that meant that the next day, if it was a lay day, for example, Oracle had the opportunity to train some more. Looking
towards the next campaign, can we expect to see changes within Team New Zealand?
Win, lose or draw, you still got to evolve and make change. I guess the nature of the way we lost when we were up 8-1 probably brings it a bit more into focus.
Already we're making pretty significant changes. Like, we've made quite big changes to our design group. Our sailing team's been refreshed with newer, younger guys, some of the Olympic sailors like Pete Burling and Blair Chuk, and that will continue. We're changing the way that we operate and make decisions. So no, already there's been big change, and that will continue to happen.